G'day people, and hello my Chilli Con Carnage Crew, it's Chilli here, and today we're bringing you a special episode. Doz is back.
I'm back.
Everyone, Doz is back, and we're doing an episode of Live Listen Erased. Doz, everyone's wanting to know, where have you been?
Well, it's a pretty fucked up story, Chilli. It all really went to shit for me when I locked myself inside my car.
You locked yourself in your car?
Inside my car. Well, yeah, I went inside and then I pressed the remote lock and I was locked in there.
Oh dear, that's not good.
The only thing I had to listen to was the CD that was in the disc drive. My girlfriend left it in there. It was the Glee soundtrack. Oh. So you can imagine 3 weeks locked in a car listening to the Glee soundtrack. Yeah, they finally got me out when they told me just to unlock it from the inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it didn't help.
It didn't help.
Then what happened after that, I don't want to talk about.
Fair enough.
But I'm back now, and I'm well.
That's the main thing. That's the great thing. Of course.
Yeah, important thing is read the car's instruction manual in the glove box. If something like that happens to you. Yeah. In the future.
It's important to note that, everyone. But look, Doz is back.
Don't listen to the Glee soundtrack.
Of course.
It's shit.
Yeah, it's probably better than the COVID situation, but I would have to say there would be mental anguish on both ends, of course. But, Doz, we've had a long time off air.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has. Between episodes, of course, of Live Listen Erased. And this is our first time recording in, it's been a couple of months now.
Yeah.
So
I got clearance from the psych.
Ah, perfect.
The doc said I can do it.
We got him out for the day for this recording, just for this.
No, I'm
You're out.
I'm out fully.
Perfect.
I'm out fully. But
that's great.
But the doctor said if it gets too heavy, then I should call emergency. But I'm willing to do this. I want to do it.
Well, I reckon we should counteract that Glee soundtrack.
Yes.
Bring ourselves down to the 90s when the good music was out there. We are overdue on this episode of Live Listen Erased. And I just want to quickly go over the soundtrack. Go over the rules for Live Listen Erased for those who
remind me, Chilli. I've forgotten.
Simple enough. Live Listen Erased is a game where you have 3 bands that you make for your list. Live and Listen and Erased are the 3 selections that you can pick for these 3 bands. With those bands, you get to choose to erase one of them, to see them perform live, once and once only, but to never hear their music again. And then listen, so you can listen to all their studio albums, but never hear their live stuff.
It's fucked.
It's
It's diabolical. That's the whole point of the game, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's hard.
We come up with
gut-wrenching decisions that need to be taken.
Of course. And we come up with a list that's going to be difficult for people. In this case, we come up with a list against each other. And hopefully we make some very difficult decisions here and talk about music in the meantime as well.
Just hash it out.
Hell yeah. So, before the episode really begins, I have to say,
cheers.
Long overdue.
Cheers.
Cheers.
God.
To you out there. Cheers.
Let's do it. Let's jump into the 90s.
So,
arguably,
yes,
the best decade in music.
I would
after
agree.
The 60s, or rivals the 60s.
Rivals the 60s?
I think so. In my humble opinion.
You'd have a few purists going, what about the 70s there?
Yeah, of course, but those people are fuckwits. No.
Gatekeepers, come on now.
Yeah. No, but the Generation X, for all their many flaws, they made some amazing music.
Incredible soundtracks to our lives, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. Well, obviously, you and I, we grew up. We were quite young in the 90s. But it was still fresh when we went to high school.
Oh yes,
and a lot of those
influence on everyone through our school.
Yeah, and everyone's school in that era, I think.
Correct.
So. Maybe save for the new metal sort of problem.
New metal's probably a different.
Probably put it in the bin. But incredible music. Sort of a return to rock form after some dalliances with, I don't know, bullshit in the in the 2 decades prior. Well, not the 2. That's a bit mean on the 70s. 15 years before.
Yeah. In the 80s, we watched a lot of famous 70s artists go and crumple and die, and perform weird electronic bullshit.
There's just too much reverb.
There's too much crap there. And too much drum machines.
Yeah.
They were just sounding terrible.
Too much, just the production was
The only drum machines I want to hear is that 90s stuff.
Yeah, not fucking oath. Yeah, even the drum machines were more switched on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It goes to show, all it takes is a bit of heroin and crack cocaine to really steal the focus on making some fucking dope music.
Hard.
So let's jump in, Chilli.
Definitely. So, Doz, I'll give you the first rain for the list.
Yeah, okay.
So hit me with your first list.
Chilli, I know that you're a big fan of the 90s bands, and I rack my brains about this. One thing before we should start, however, what defines a 90s band? Because as we know, some bands... Queens of the Stone Age comes to mind, for example, which is not on my list.
No,
but they
yeah,
we did. They sort of kicked off. Well, there's obviously Caius, but then they kicked off with their first album in what 99?
97.
97. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And yes, because Rated R was 99.
Rated R was 99.
Fucking, I listened to that last night and I did not regret it.
Never do.
So was that a 90s band?
I see what you mean. Look, I'd give a bit of leeway because, to be honest, I think I'm going to have the same situation arise on my list.
Right. Well, mine doesn't arise on this list.
Okay.
So, but I thought we just set the groundwork.
Just setting the boundaries.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to, clarify that because, of course, there are bands who sort of. In fact, no, it probably will come up. Yeah, but I mean, there are lots of bands who they're on that borderline of the edge of the decade.
Borderline of the 90s.
The way I saw it was, their ubiquitous music is from the 90s. That when you think of the band, it calls the 90s to 9. Yeah, exactly. They're known for the 90s. They're a 90s band.
That's what I did with mine, and you'll see why.
All right, Chilli.
Go.
Smashing Pumpkins. Weezer. Alice in Chains.
Oh, I knew Alice in Chains would be on this list.
Yeah. You walked right into that one. Your decision to do the 90s, Chilli.
No, I know. But I don't regret it, though.
Yeah, neither do I. So go on. So we've got Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains.
Weezer.
Smashing Pumpkins. So let's start with Weezer first, all right?
Well, yeah, sounds good.
Sounds like a perfect start. Weezer have a plethora of music post 90s.
They do.
They don't stop. It's weird because
are they a 90s band?
They are, definitely. 94's Blue Album.
Yeah, that's their
album they've ever released.
Yeah, that's definitely their opus.
Definitely. Unfortunately, nothing they've released since has ever come close to that album. It's unfortunate.
So it's really the choice is Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins, and Blue Album.
No. When I say that the best album was the Blue Album, I don't mean that everything else is shit.
You mean it's that fucking good?
It's at that level.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that's glad you clarified, because otherwise I was regretting my choice of a list.
Yeah, you would still have Pinkerton. People would agree would be on par, in my opinion, no. But, there would be still a few albums out there that I enjoyed, like Green Album. They always went other colours. Cool.
Well, that's cool.
Black,
that's cool.
White, and
I actually like that motif. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's a decent one.
My understanding is, I'm not familiar with Weezer, so that's why one of the reasons actually I wanted to throw it in your list, because I know you're a big fan, and you might be able to teach me a thing or two. But I understand that Green Album is sort of a return to form.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a great return to form that saw them into a new decade.
Nice.
So that was 2001, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Off the top of my head.
So showing that sort of 90s.
That had Island in the Sun, which was their big
that's
song.
a massive hit. And
that was kind of like probably the closest they came in sound to returning back to that Blue Album kind of tune.
What's the best song on the Blue Album?
See, that's a difficult question.
Yeah. How long's a piece of string?
I probably would almost say the whole album.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's not probably maybe Coming Undone, maybe Sweater Song or Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly's. I was going to ask if that's on the Blue Album. Again, not familiar. Yeah, Buddy Holly's a 6. The film clip's amazing too. Yeah. They splice in the Happy Days. The clips. It's amazing. Great song.
I love the intro track. Probably one of my favorite ones, and even the closing track. I can't think of it now, but it's like an 8-minute long track.
Yeah.
It's a very simple bass line. Dun, 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 dun. And it just plays that
nice.
5 minutes like over a loose jam almost.
And it's probably one of those bands, like 90s bands that weren't. I don't like the label grunge, but they were decidedly not grunge, were they? They were just alternative.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue them as being grunge.
They were just one of those bands that owe their existence to, say, Nirvana, like most other bands.
Well,
but in heralding in dominant attention focus on guitar bands,
especially around that time in the early 90s when obviously there was the grunge movement going on and all the other bands that were coming out of that scene. And there's a band there with Weezer being discovered, and it was a great little discovery with them. They're still recording albums to this day. I actually did a review a couple of weeks ago. Their newest project at the moment is called Seasons, SZNZ. And what it is they plan to release 4 albums this year. 4 EPs, I should say.
Cool.
And it's obviously spring, summer,
awesome.
Winter.
Being released, obviously, in the season, Northern Hemisphere season that
Correct.
So they're currently
just done spring.
Cool.
Which is alright. It's pretty upbeat, poppy, very kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, inoffensive rock.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about.
It was a bit bland.
Okay.
But as a whole, there was still some songs that would keep Weezer fans happy.
Nice.
So it'll be interesting to see the other 3 when they come out, but we'll see what happens, I guess. I'm hoping that they go in a certain direction with this, as in it's kind of like a whole concept piece, and they make, for example, the winter tunes more of a down-tuned and ugly sound compared to the spring, which is more hard.
More upbeat, more uplifting.
Correct.
So the seasonal affective disorder infects the winter soundtrack.
Correct. And I'm hoping it's something similar like Dream Theater did with their Change of Seasons album. Change of Seasons song, I should say. But
you right there, Chilli?
We'll say,
you feel, I mean, you're choking up, are you?
I'm choking up with emotions.
Yeah, it sounds like you are.
Weezer.
Yeah, kind of sounds like it, mate.
So
grow a dick. It's just music, you fuckwit.
It's just Weezer. But no, Weezer's really okay. So we've gone through Weezer there, I think.
I think your views on it.
Go on to Smashing Pumpkins,
who you've seen live.
I have seen live. Yes,
notwithstanding Billy Corgan's weird sort of personal views on things.
No,
what are we thinking? I fucking love the Smashing Pumpkins.
He's an incredibly underrated guitarist.
I think so too. Absolutely agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
And especially in his earlier 90s stuff.
Yeah.
And he just goes for a solo fuck it, I'll play 10 minutes solo here.
You got to remember, this guy is a crazy talented multi-instrumentalist. And he did the instruments on every basic instrument, didn't he? On Melancholy.
Melancholy.
I think he did everything.
There was a lot of stuff.
Speaks to his level of control and perfectionism, but Cherub Rock, dude.
I think it might have been a door, actually.
Oh, right, okay.
I think it was a door. I can't remember.
You that I adore. No, Cherub Rock is my favourite fucking Smashing Pumpkins song.
Oh, that's a great track.
It's like the first song on their first album.
Second album.
Yeah, Gish was their first album, wasn't it?
Gish was the first.
God, this was 30 years ago,
actually
Chilli.
89 as well, I think.
Well, this is as old as I am, which is how the fuck am I supposed to remember that?
I barely remember these things sometimes.
But you've seen them live.
I have. I saw
recently.
Them. Oh no, about 10 years ago.
Oh God, time's
I know. Fuck. Which was weird because I pulled out the shirt from that tour just the other day. I was cleaning out my shirts. I'm like, I'm not going to throw this away. I can't throw my Bed away.
No.
It was the Oceanic tour, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Oceanic album. Anyway, it was the one with the lighthouse on the front. And like blues and colours. And they played the entire album, which I loved. I thought it was a pretty solid album. Yeah, that whole
album.
Yeah, the entire album.
Because this is the thing, a lot of those classic bands sort of just, and to their credit, because they've, they're the ones that, the bands, I'm not going to name drop them, but they're the ones that they've got their career peaked in the, decades ago now, and their new stuff it trickles out, and it's not good, it's not bad.
It's fine.
It's fine, but it's not. It doesn't go to the soaring, crazy ass, fucking sweet heights of their opuses.
Of course.
And when you go to see them live, of course, you expect maybe a trickle of stuff from their new albums.
Yep.
And most of the time you might think maybe that's just for the guys playing it because they're sick of playing the same shit every night.
Yeah, well, of course, and you want to promote that album.
Of course, but in the main you expect to hear, Everlong.
Oh, you want to hit the hits. No names.
Oops. Yeah.
But no.
But Smashing. It sounds to me like Billy Corgan didn't do that when you went and saw him.
Well, I read up some reviews before I saw him, and basically he comes across like
a dickhead.
Yes, yeah. I was trying to think of the other musician Van Morrison, in the way that he doesn't give a shit about the crowd, but he does. He doesn't really want to engage in the crowd, but he wants to rock your cock off, pretty much.
Right. Okay.
He wants to put on a good show. But beyond that, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if I was as filthy wealthy as that dude, then I wouldn't give a fuck either, maybe.
Yeah, I know those Zero shirts, Christ, fuck me. But anyway, he did a whole new album, and I was happy with that because I loved that album. You know, for me, that was an incredible album. And they did
Excuse me.
They did a stop in between, and then they went into their second set. And that was like going back to their old school songs.
Sick.
So you know,
like a double album.
Today's 1979.
No way.
They even played XYU, and that song was the first time they ever played that in like 12 years.
In post-edit for this episode, I found out they played this song on every date of the concert during the Oceanic tour, so I was incorrect.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. I massively jumped the gun there. So, like, I'm thinking that their new album was probably like basically an entire concert length. No,
it was.
Well, how long did this thing go for?
The new album at the time was like an hour long.
That's a long concert.
It was a very long concert.
Nice.
It was a very good concert.
Didn't know he had it in him. No, of course he does. He's a one in a million.
But yeah, I was listening to them the other day. I was listening to Infinite Sadness, of course. Incredible double album with barely any faults in it. Probably up there, and I mean that's an album I keep coming back to even after 15 years of playing it. And
yeah, of course,
I could play it the whole way through and not really skip. I could probably skip 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah, from a double album. I mean, double albums are kind of, I don't know about double albums, man. Like, I mean, like except for the White Album, obviously, which is like the reason why there are actually still rock albums, or there are any rock albums as we know them. But I don't know, they kind of get a bit bloated. They kind of get it. They're kind of a bit self-absorbed. They're, or a bit sort of indulgent. And
yes.
It takes a pretty special effort to pull off a double album. But Melancholy would probably have to be the, like one of the standout double albums, because like, I see a double album, I'm like, I don't know if I can consume all of this.
Correct.
Out
of all the double albums there is, it's kind of like the follow-up for a film series or something. Like the second one's never as good.
Yeah.
But in some instances, there's albums that are there are double albums out there that are fantastic.
Yeah, well, I definitely would have to say Melancholy is the leading, definitely one of the up there with the better. With 100%. The better double albums for sure.
For 100%.
Nice. Yeah, no, and just this the dedication that Billy Corgan had to that fucking album is just so obvious.
Oh,
I mean, like it's just
took some time out for that one.
I know, and it's really, it doesn't sound like anything else. But it's such a strange sound.
I mean, it's not. It was a bit different, wasn't it?
Well, he's he's obviously they're always lumped in with the Soundgardens and the the Alice in Chainses and the Nirvanas. But I mean, it doesn't. Well, who does Billy Corgan sound like to you, other than a screaming baby?
To me, no one.
Yeah, I know.
He's a bit of a on an island type of guy.
Yeah, he totally is. But I mean, like, I reckon he's got a massive underrated. Like you said, he's an underrated musician, guitarist. Absolutely, he is. His riffs are like up there with the Tony Iommi.
Yeah,
when he's at his best, fantastic. He really is.
1979 Bodies. Oh,
yeah, like Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, I know.
Cherub Rock.
Yeah,
all of those songs.
Awesome. Yeah.
Silverfuck. I love that song.
Yeah.
One of the ones, if you hear it live, it's like a 10-minute track from the album.
Gish.
Siamese Dream.
That's Siamese Dream. Yeah, my bad. Always confused it too.
Yeah, when he does it live, it's like, I'm going to just extend that song.
Yeah,
it goes to about 15, 16
Yeah, well, you can't cavil with that. That sounds fucking dope. But yeah, and shout out to us, like a pretty decent cover of the classic Fleetwood Mac song,
Landslide, which was on that B-sides album, of course.
And as an aside, I saw Fleetwood Mac live, and I saw Stevie Nicks sing that, and it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a pretty decent cover. It does it a bit of justice.
From what I heard, Stevie Nicks, when she heard that the cover, said that was actually a fairly decent one.
Yeah, nice.
So I think she's kind of given it the nod of approval.
Well, there you go, Billy.
So yes, Smashing Pumpkins are an incredible band.
You've seen them live though, which might factor in your decision.
Maybe.
You haven't seen Weezer.
I haven't seen Weezer.
Have you been out to this desolate island?
God, not for a long time, not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't recall.
You'd think out of 16 albums that they've released in the last 10 years, you would
no, they've got no fucking time for a 20-hour flight when they're recording, like middle of the road albums.
100%. Very true.
But they do have the Blue album.
They do have a Blue album, so.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, Alice in Chains is probably one of the most complex bands of the 90s. You could probably argue to so much of a degree that Alice in Chains was the band that united metalheads to grunge heads to rock fans to alt to everything and
it's crazy, man.
between.
Because I know that like for example, I mean Jerry Cantrell and I think perhaps Lane to a degree were mad. Well, we're not mad, but they were good friends with Metallica, the guys from Metallica. Yeah, they were
their thing, but yes.
Well, they were. Well, in fact, James and Lars were in the audience at MTV Unplugged, Alice in Chains.
Okay.
In the front row, I think.
I do know that they were doing their one of the live recordings. I remember James was making jokes about.
Yeah, well, yeah.
James
makes jokes. That's what he does.
I know.
James is an alcoholic.
Yeah, especially during that.
Yeah.
Especially.
But
the heights of alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, he was equally shooting up coke with Kurt Cobain in Brazil. And figuring out who's going to pay for the private jet to bring heroin down there.
True.
So which is all to say that that they were a good bridge between
yes,
metal, if Metallica were still considered metal at that point, and the sort of the more mainstream radio friendly Nirvana style pop rock.
There's this meme I remember, and hopefully I can find it and put it up here. But it's like this lord of kings or something, and all his knights with the swords laid down, and it's like that's Alice in Chains, and then it's like every other band that's heavy metal and grunge and all that laying down.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I know that meme. I know the template. But you're a big fan, aren't you, Chilli?
Oh my god, I am a huge fan of Alice in Chains. I like both of their, I guess, sagas, you could say, of the band. So of course, Lane Staley, probably, I would say, the best 90s vocalist.
He's pretty great.
He had such a range on him that was...
He's not the greatest.
Okay. That's...
respect to who is the greatest. But you say he's the greatest.
I say he's the greatest because of the ranges he could reach and the power he had.
Yeah.
When you hear the isolated vocal tracks to some of the songs...
Yeah, that is true.
It's like,
they're
wow.
pretty good. Yeah, you have shown me that, Chilli.
Yeah, even the musical... Even some coaches have gone back and I think it was... Wood or one of those tracks, and they're like, the sustained note in this is such an incredibly difficult note to hear out.
And he's just a dude, scrappy bloke from the lower class burbs. I mean, it's mad. It's so
they
good.
just made it off Facelift.
But for me, I mean, obviously Lane Staley is Alice in Chains' vocal sound, but for me, it's inseparable from is inseparable from Jerry.
Correct.
And who's like one of those backing vocalists who obviously stands on their own, but has that weird sort of eerily similar tonal quality to the lead singer.
He does.
Yeah,
and it's very odd when they.
Yeah, it's
MTV
sort of
Unplugged
for me. It's sort of similar to REM in their harmonies. It's kind of hard to tell who's doing what until you sort of you know.
It even.
Yeah, obviously, I think obviously everyone knows the story about MTV Unplugged and Alice in Chains. It's sad,
he was high on heroin.
No, of course, he always was. But he was very unwell, and either at points, understandably, in his illness rendered him unable to, perform some of the songs, and Jerry took over, and it's just not even. I think it's quite difficult to perceive who's singing what, which is just incredible. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jerry Cantrell is he's a special talent. Under those circumstances, he's probably used to it by then.
Yeah, I guess that's probably why that's why they stopped for a while. That's why they broke up even for a time, was because of all this.
If we wanted to just list the bands that had broken up and got back together over
for a long time.
Chili Peppers one. Anyway,
But that aside, Alice in Chains to me are probably one of the most special bands in my musical taste anyway. You know, you've got their first album, Facelift, which is an incredible debut for any band. Massive success off that one. Then you had the highly inspirational Dirt.
Yeah, Dirt's mad. Down in a Hole's my favourite song.
Down in a Hole is an incredible
such
track.
a good song. And Rooster.
Yeah, fantastic.
Which is obviously written about Jerry's dad, right? The celebrated Vietnam War veteran.
Yes, it is. That's obviously about that.
Awesome.
And they did the video recording of that one. I think his dad was also in it. So
respect.
Yeah, massive respect on that. And Rooster, I think, was his nickname.
Oh,
so I'm pretty sure it was either. Well, that's what I heard, but also
I like that, so I don't want you to burst my bubble.
Yeah, okay. Because people argue, I guess, in the comments saying, no, Rooster is what they called the division that he was in.
Oh, okay.
Because they had the hawk on the badge.
Yeah, gotcha.
But they didn't know what the hell the hawk was, so they called them Roosters.
Yeah, right.
But apparently his name was Rooster. Anyway, that's the mixed messages I've received.
That's all right. Well, they try to snuff him, but he's not going to fucking die.
Exactly.
What a sick guy.
Exactly.
Nice. Great band. But,
band.
cut short like many bands in the 90s.
Correct. But even with the incident, moving forward, their new stuff, I still like it. Obviously, it's not going to hold a torch to Dirt.
Yeah. What about the lamp, like the one that is affectionately called Lampshade, or is it that one? Is it the nickname for it? Is you got the three-legged dog?
Oh,
with a cone on his head. Tripod. Lampshade.
Original lampshade.
Yeah, because he had the cone. Yeah. I remember my dog.
Yeah, Tripod.
Self-titled, isn't it?
Well, it's a self-titled, but they call it Tripod.
Yeah, I was trying to figure.
Yeah,
let's go a bit rusty.
That is an interesting one because it was a much heavier sound. For one, I think they were kind of maybe influenced by Pantera or something like that.
Pantera,
possibly, because I know Jerry, he liked his stuff, and
the interminable Nazis Pantera.
It's an incredibly heavier album compared to. It's less accessible. I love it. There's a lot of tracks though that are like it's dirty,
hard to get.
Sludgy,
it's hard to. Yeah, it's.
But I like
it comes from a pretty messed up place.
Yeah, it's a dark area. And look,
but that's what Alice in Chains is all about. That though, it's all about sort of just it's that self-deprecating. Like the self-deprecation from Lane Staley is just like it's painful to listen to.
Correct, because most of his songs were about his addiction.
Of course, I mean, of course, everybody knows that. I mean, but he doesn't turn it into a pop song, does he? No, I mean, he's got absolutely. Like no excuses for himself. He lays himself bare and what he thinks of himself. He's not, it's not pretty.
I've heard
the music's not pretty either.
No,
and that's what Alice in Chains is sort of about.
But that's kind of their approach. It's like we're being so emotional here and raw, and I guess that's
the heaviness sort of almost puts a barrier up, but on the same time it extends it through the barrier.
But I've heard them being described recently as a bunch of aging musicians warning people about the effects of drugs.
Probably an accurate description.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, I've seen them live, and
we'll just clarify. Yeah, it was obviously well after Lane's tragic, untimely passing.
So William Duvall, I think, is the new singer who is
sounds really similar to Lane.
Eerily, and he's a great fit. He's a great frontman as well.
Nice.
Very active.
Yep.
And I love him. But
nice.
I saw them at I think it was the Download Festival 2018 or whatever it was.
Here in Sydney.
And I remember we were at the front row and I was like shouting out like, Jerry.
Nice.
And that Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Springer going on.
Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I get it now.
And the crowd was getting into it. Like, he's on stage. It burst into their first song.
Yeah.
Can't think of the song. Confusion or something like that. Anyway, and great opening riff. And, here he is. Just down, and hair blowing back. He's got this long hair.
Still.
And it's awesome.
That's mad.
And I remember actually...
That is actually fucking mad. Like Jerry Cantrell is like, I mean, as much as Lane was Alice in Chains. And Jerry, exactly, you can't separate them.
You can't, no. But they did well to recover. Obviously, maybe their last album or two wasn't that great.
Again, we always go back to it. Smashing Pumpkins are the same. Weezer's the same.
Correct.
It's all these, and Alice in Chains. It's those 90s sort of, epochal sort of stuff, and then you just get this the releases that trickle out and continue it. They've got a couple of songs to throw in the set list, but but how about who cares?
Of course.
Who the fuck cares? I mean, like, did you write Dirt? Oh, I didn't write Dirt.
No.
If I wrote Dirt, I'd be pretty satisfied. I wouldn't. Who gives a shit what you write?
I
after
think
Dirt?
you would be satisfied if you were the one writing Dirt, though. I don't think you would have been the one satisfied if you wrote Dirt. I mean,
that's what drives them as artists. But I'm no artist, obviously. I've got no talent whatsoever, which is why I'm here talking about music.
Of course. Degradation for law.
Yeah, I know. I've learned a thing from you, Lane. Cheers, buddy. But it's a thing. I mean, like the bands are so. I mean, Pearl Jam's another example. If you depending on whether you like them or not. I mean, I'm not a massive fan, but I mean, some of the songs from 10 are pretty epic. But like, they never. I don't think they ever came close to matching 10 versus people. Some people were like, I don't think so.
That's exactly the case like Weezer.
Exactly. I mean, it's a lot of those 90s bands, man.
A
lot of those 90s bands. I mean, but that's every like a lot of long running bands. But like, do you want them to top it? Because how do you top the the untoppable?
No, you can't. I think I've got a decision.
You got a decision, Chilli.
Yeah. It's.
I think I know where this is going. Let me guess.
Okay.
Let me guess, like we did, like old times. For old times' sake, you're gonna erase Weezer.
Yep.
You're gonna live Smashing Pumpkins again, and you're gonna. No, hang on. No, you're not. You're gonna live Alice in Chains, and you're gonna listen Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah.
That's
wow.
exactly how I would have done it.
Yeah,
I would have wanted to go back to that MTV night and seen how it went. Despite the flaws of that night,
I know.
I would have loved to seen.
It would have been pretty painful.
It would have been, but at the same time, it would have been like one of those experiences that just can't be topped.
And when he was on, he was like, whoa, yeah, like, dude.
Exactly. Even the rodeo tour from '93, any Alice in Chains fan will know that. Their live recordings and stuff.
Come on, man. It's Alice in Chains.
They were on.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to cut you off, but I would definitely be down for that, and I'd probably make the same decisions in the list, but. Look at an Alice in Chains. I mean, like, come on. I mean, that's with Elaine Staley. Like, that's sick. Come on. I mean, like, but the guy they got crazy famous for a reason.
Yeah.
They weren't shit.
No,
they were fucking good. They were running out of rock. They were talented, fucking talented guys.
So, what about you? What would you do in this list?
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to do with Weezer, and I don't intend on changing that. So, I'm just going to erase them quite, without much. Further ado. No offense to anyone,
offense.
But I would see Alice in Chains, but I'd keep Smashing Pumpkins every so often. You just need to listen to fucking The World Is a Vampire, set to dry, and how you can't keep that out of your life forever. There would be no point in living.
Very true.
Yeah,
it'd be a painful decision for me not to listen to Alice in Chains.
Yeah, I know. But this is the thing. This is why this game's challenging. Yeah. That's why we do it. We're like true '90s kids.
Yes.
Causing true hardships for ourselves, and we're only ourselves to blame.
Exactly.
Or rather, blaming baby boomers for all problems.
Why not?
Still the case today.
Well, that's a great list, and thank you for that little part.
Part 2, Doz is up.
Coming up. That'll be
this is
a couple of weeks' time for you.
Yeah, it's gonna. To be honest, dudes, this is gonna be. We all know there's a headline act in this. We
shouldn't spoil anything.
No, we're not going to say. But everyone who knows Doz, and that's not a lot of people because not a lot of people like him. Probably because he refers to himself in the third person. They know that there's a particular couple of bands in the '90s that he fucking loves, and so I know that Chilli's going to completely butt fuck me on this list, and so I've been kind of dreading it all that time when I was particularly when I was locked in the car. In fact, a lot of people, my psych actually insisted that, but maybe that's why I didn't come out when I clearly have unlocked the car from the inside.
Would you still rather be locked in for Glee?
Probably fuck not. No, I'd much rather do this.
So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time, alright? But Side B will be coming up shortly. Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please consider liking it and sharing it with your friends. And also don't forget to subscribe to our Chilli Con Carnage Crew to stay updated on our newest videos. We're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Live Listen Erased. Please join us on those media platforms for all kinds of updates and discussions regarding music. And as always, stay spicy.